Good evening, and welcome to Africa's Vision Network. Africa's Vision Network features cultural awareness, education, economic empowerment, religion, spirituality, and other issues focusing on the African world. I am your host, Princess Ayo. Thank you for being on our show today. We have a truly exciting show. As you can see, all kinds of things are happening. Animals! It's all about animals, and we're excited. Now, we have as guests to take us through the world of animals, Miss Gabrielle Sauline Symington, a native of Arlington, Virginia, who lives in Portsmouth, Virginia, with her mother, Rosalind Fawkes. Her dad, Saul Symington, died 2 years ago. Gabrielle is an eighth grade student at Alliance Christian School in Portsmouth. She loves animals, photography, reading, looking at the animal planet, just like me, listening to music, and visiting the animal shelter in Arlington. This summer, she attended camp at the animal shelter. Her ambitions are to work with animals. She has traveled by Amtrak extensively and has vacationed in the Dominican Republic, located in the Caribbean, and Jamaica, an island in the West Indies. Gabrielle serves as one of our character generators here at Comcast with Africa's Vision Network. And when she is in the Washington metro area, she attends First Baptist on Minnesota Avenue and C Street. We're happy to have you with us, Gabby. I call her Gabby. She's almost like a child of mine. I know Gabby so well. She's our producer's granddaughter, and she's trying her best to handle her dog, who is the star of the show. Ah, goodness. So excited, but he's 1 year old, so I forgive him. Welcome, Gabby. Glad to have you. Now, our other guest is going to take us through the world of animals is a doctor, Dr. Elton Pfeifus. DVM, which I guess means Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. And he is a native of District of Columbia. His parents came to this country from Guyana. His veterinary career began with a promise from his parents that he could get a puppy from a family friend. He begged and pleaded for this puppy, and even though his parents never gave in, his favorite aunt did. She asked him to dog sit her chow puppy for a few days, and he never let go. She surrendered the pup, but retained visiting rights. Dr. Pfeifus started acquiring pets, including a mischievous kitty, an unpredictable dog, a hamster, parakeet, 5 chickens, 2 rabbits, 2 more cats, 9 dogs, and 2 snakes. It was love at first sight. He graduated from Banneker High School in Washington, D.C. He did his undergraduate work at University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. He graduated from Tuskegee University School of Veterinary Medicine. He has worked for several hospitals in the area. Recently, Dr. Nia Perkins and Dr. Pfeifus opened Paws, Purrs, and Exotic Animal Hospital. Welcome to Africa's Vision Network.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you.
Welcome, very welcome to be.
We feel so honored, that a vet has come to our humble abode. And we're just enthralled by the different things we're going to see. In case the audience, you don't know, in this box in front of me is a python. Anybody remember my story about the python, the African story? It's a real here, it's right here. And on top is this wonderful turtle, but we're going to talk about them all later. And of course, we talked about Smokey, so we got to talk about Ubu, the chow. There, right there, if you can see him there on the ground. Now, Gabby,
yeah.
I'm going to start with you. Tell us about this Smokey. What is happening with Smokey right now? Can you tell us, since we know you want to study,
He's hyper.
Why is he hyper? What's going on, do you think, in his mind?
Because he probably wants to go to my mom.
Smokey, we're giving you a chance here. I mean, you could be, this could be shown on YouTube, and we could be on, Channel 4. You have to act right. Okay. Now tell us how old Smokey is.
He's 1.
He's 1 year old. And how did you get him?
I got him from, my uncle got him for me for Christmas from North Carolina.
And what breed is he?
He's a dachshund.
Now that, you know what, I love hot dog dogs. And I know that's one of the things. Why do you think they call them that?
Because they're very long.
They're very long. However, I very rarely see this kind of, so tell us why this is different from what I must be talking about. Seeing that kind of hot dog. What kind of?
He's long hair, and most of them are smooth hair.
Okay. Now, is he long-haired all over and you shaved him? Or he's
Yes.
oh, you shaved him.
My mom did because she said he sheds too much.
So there's hair, and the curly hair we're seeing on the ears, that's usually all over his body?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. How long does the hair grow?
It should grow like past
You can let him out a little bit
feet.
so that the camera can see. Oh, just hold the leash. Yeah. Oh, isn't he handsome? My goodness. Have you ever thought of putting him on one of those dog shows?
Oh, I don't think he acts
Not the
right.
way he's acting today, right? But, he could be, trained. Yeah, mommy is over there. That's why, he wants to go. But what are Dachshunds known for, Gabby? What's so special about this dog?
They're long because their breed is made for digging, burrowing into holes.
What are they looking for?
The mice, rats.
Okay. Were they like trained because someone wanted to catch those things, or?
Yes.
Interesting. And what are their characteristics? Although we can see one, what are their characteristics? What did you read up about them?
I think he's really goofy.
Meaning?
Well, I don't know, he does like a whole bunch of weird things.
Okay. Now, does he do anything special? Does he have any special tricks?
No.
Does he sit when he's told to?
If you have food or a toy.
Oh, he was trained.
Smokey.
He was trained with food. Cool.
Smokey.
Are there any other kinds of breeds of Dachshunds?
Wire hair and smooth hair.
Okay. Now, wire hair that's different from, what's this called again? Long-haired?
Mm-hmm.
Wire-haired is different.
Because they have more hair around their mouth.
Okay. And what colors do they come in?
There's a lot of colors.
All different, like black. Do they come in white?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever seen a white hot dog. Do you have any questions for the doctor about your dog?
No.
How to behave? How to make him, she already knows. She says it's food. He needs food. That is cool. We'll be back with Smokey later. Now, Dr. Pfeiffer, am I saying your name right?
Yeah,
Pfeiffer. Now, we were going to talk about your animals that you have.
Okay.
They're so interesting. I want to start with Rita, because I love saying her name. He actually named her Rita with 2 R's. And tell us about Rita.
Okay. Rita is a red-footed tortoise. They call her red-footed because her feet are red. Currently, she's a little dull right now because she's in the process of shedding. You can see some loose skin underneath her neck. She's very docile. She's pretty calm. She'll let you touch her head, rub her mouth. You can actually hand feed her. She pretty much eats. She loves hibiscus leaves and hibiscus flowers. She eats dark leafy greens, fruits, most vegetables. She has a pretty good appetite, and she's very calm and docile. She is a she because you can vaguely see, but the bottom of her shell is flat.
Okay.
The males, they have a slight curving of their shell, and their front claws are a little bit longer, so they can grip the female, and the curve kind of to mount on the female, and the tail is a little bit longer than the females. And Rita it's unknown how old she is. I actually acquired her from a friend who had to get called away to go overseas on a job assignment, and they couldn't take her with her. So technically, I'm fostering her, but most likely, she'll
It's
be mine
permanent.
until, and I'll hold my part of the bargain. If she does come back, then I will have to hand over Rita.
Oh.
But until then, I'm enjoying her company.
Where did she originally come from? I mean, country.
She's originally from Asia. They actually are found in the southeastern United States as well.
Okay.
But,
From
so
Asia.
and they're pretty sturdy, so they can grow in most climates.
I can see the skin shedding too around her neck. I never thought about that. The turtle's skin.
And on this left side, it's mild, but she has a slight skin tag.
Right.
It's just the outpocket
Right.
of the skin.
Now I've seen turtles around in Virginia, and crossing the path. They don't have this color.
Yeah, and that's why she's called a red-footed tortoise, because of her color. When she's maybe about a week ago, she would be not shiny, but a lot more shiny than this.
So the whole skin on the back of her shell is going to come off. Is that what's going to come off?
No.
It's
what's coming
around
off is
her
just the
skin.
Yeah, the actual skin. But the scales on top are called scutes.
Okay.
And scutes are basically equivalent to our skin, but it's almost like fingernail type of material, and they do shed over time.
Okay.
Some animals you can judge by the rings to find out how old they are. That's actually not an accurate way to age her. When they become adult, it's actually really hard to tell. Because a really old turtle can look very similar to a much younger turtle.
Okay.
Tortoise, excuse me.
Okay.
So turtles go in water, and tortoises pretty much stay on land.
Oh, tortoises stay on land. That's interesting. Okay, Rita.
Yes, and this is Rita.
Oh, tell me, does she? Now I know this would sound so simple, but I'm just thinking, does she have feelings? Does she feel wanted and loved?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, they have a different degree. It's not like, I mean, humans have feelings that's different than a dog's feelings. A dog's feelings I love you. The humans can be, I love you because you're my mate. Turtle is, I see you movement. It's early in the morning, and I love you because now you're going to give me some food.
Okay.
And she will, like, sunbaths where she'll kind of open her mouth and kind of basically warm herself up. Because reptiles are cold-blooded, they're relying upon the outside temperature to increase their metabolism. So the warmer they are, overall, the better that they do.
Ruby is just...
Oh. I just checked because she will like let her bowels go. When she's in a different environment, when she's outside of her normal cage,
Okay.
then she tends to use the bathroom readily.
Okay.
So, normally, if you run a little water under her, she'll let out a stream of urine.
Oh, goodness. Well, we'll do without that,
Yes,
I
no
think.
water for that.
Cool.
And this is Rita.
Rita's so interesting.
And Rita's name it's not Rita, but it's actually Rita because her former owner is of Latin descent, so they stress that I must include the Roman.
I love that. Love that. Cool. All right. Let us, what else can I think of? Let me see. Rita, how long have you been here? What are unique traits? What are the unique traits of a turtle?
The unique traits are, well, one big one is they don't have a diaphragm. So there's no division between their abdomen and their thorax, the chest and the abdomen. And their lung sacs are just underneath the shell. So a lot of people think, oh, a shell's damage on the turtle. Mm-hmm. That actually can cause lung damage. So tortoise.
Okay. But the turtle, okay. Same thing. That's damage on the lungs.
Same thing. The only difference really is water. So they're more adapted for swimming. Her feet aren't as webbed. If you look at a turtle's feet, they're more webbed than tortoises. Okay. Basically to create like a fin, so it kind of helps with swimming. She's not a swimmer, so her feet are designed to walk on land. Okay. These feet are made for walking.
I hear them. Okay. Let's go to the next one. And our next friend is a very unique guest. Share some of this python's name is Silk.
Yes.
How you like that? Sounds like it should be in a club somewhere. The DJ is Silk tonight. Silk is a ball python. Now, let me tell you something about this Silk before I see taking him out. Silk is the snakes are supposed to be really, really good. I just found this out at escaping. That's why when you hear someone says, "My snake," a snake is on somebody's bathroom and doesn't belong to them. They can escape. And this snake was inside this other bag he's got in here, dark, when he put him in there this morning. But when he came back, the snake had got out of there and was in the net and just got out the bag by himself. Found his way out.
Somehow.
You want to let Shadow go?
Somehow the bag is
Smokey.
Tied closed.
Go on, let her go. Let her go to mommy. We're gonna break. Hold it. Just hold 1 second. Look at that love. Oh, that's so special. Almost makes me want to get a dog, but I'm not going to do that. So let's go on to Silk, who is the escape artist. Give me a bull python. Oh my God.
So actually, I was wondering how Silk escaped the bag, and it's still knotted. And Silk bored a hole through the bag. Oh my goodness. So this kind of shows how they are escaping. I mean, this is just a
so
bag.
The producer was right. They do bite.
They don't bite.
How'd you get through that?
Well, the thing is, they have amazing strength. They're just nothing but muscle.
Okay.
So all she probably started working at it, and then the rest of it she forced her way through, which is why it's as big as her body.
Oh, that is naughty right there.
Yes. And the reason why they call her ball python, she's in her defense
look at her
pose, her posture.
Okay.
This is also her comfortable posture. She's pretty much balled up. They tuck their head in to protect their head, so if an animal tries to attack them, then they've at least controlling the animal's head, protecting the head is key to longevity. Same for dogs, same for cat, and same for snakes. So they tend to protect their head, and handling them the same thing.
Now, does she feel my anxiousness? Like a dog would know that I'm...
No.
She doesn't feel that I'm about to lose my mind right now and run off the stage?
She wouldn't, well, if you held
Let Gabby
her,
take over the show?
If you held her that securely, like if I was kind of just dangling her, she might get a little, that might like...
But she doesn't feel me. She doesn't go like somebody's scared of me. Okay.
The only, ball pythons are very docile. The only way most of them, maybe 98% of them will strike or attack is if the smell of food is still in the air.
See, that's why we didn't need no food here.
Bit me because I tried to clean up the tank a little too quickly, and the smell was still in the air. They don't have good vision, so if they see silhouettes or shadow movement, anything along that line, then pretty much they sense heat, so they will trigger and they can strike. And when it bit me, it kind of, I mean, they don't have feelings like us, but it did know that I wasn't food, and I mean, as if to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bite you. And it hurt. No, it basically felt like a TV prick on your finger. So it was almost painless. It actually was painless.
Wow. So they do bite.
They have teeth.
They have teeth. They bite.
Teeth.
So this one is never poisonous.
No.
But the ones that people get and they're poisonous, they take the poison out of the fangs.
No, you can milk the fangs, but they constantly are producing poison.
Oh,
so
really?
you can empty out the fangs pretty much. It's almost like a syringe. It basically is a syringe.
Okay.
Like a hypodermic needle.
Okay.
So you can put it over. They use almost like a rubber drum. Sit the fangs in it. The pressure of it kind of empties out the poison. And that's one way, if you ever do get bit by a poisonous snake, it's one way of collecting antivenom if you need
Okay.
it. So.
Well, Silk, what do we have to say about you? Unusual traits of a ball python. What is the main thing about this ball python? It squeezes people. That's how it defends itself?
Yes. Well, the most unusual trait is, as you can see, it has no legs. It does have vestigial remnants of a leg.
Look at that.
You can see, you might be able to see a spur claw right here. These are many, many years ago, evolutionary. They used to have legs.
Okay.
And there's some animals that are kind of in between. A blue-tongued skink is a big one that
Oh, look at the tongue
is
came
in
out.
between
You see that
snake
tongue?
and so when the tongue comes out, it's tasting the air.
Okay.
And as long as it doesn't taste food, then it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it.
Thank goodness we
it
didn't
will
get
let you
that
know
chicken
if
out
there's
here.
food out there, because they will react.
Okay.
And kind of have to also. I mean, as long as I've had her, I still have to watch her behavior. She's coiled up now, but it's more of a comfortable coil. She's kind of stretching out, relaxing, and
Look
filling
at
herself out.
that.
If she was about to strike or getting aggressive, it would be a really tight coil, and she would kind of gyrate back and forth, and then she would extend about half her body length and strike.
So is she moving her legs, kind of those legs you were talking about underneath? How's she moving along?
They have no function now.
So how come she can move?
Because it's basically muscles, so muscles
Okay.
contract. They have like 300 rib vertebrae, and between the combination of the ribs and the muscles, they pretty much kind of, they don't pull the ground, but they pull themselves throughout the ground. Their ball pythons are pretty slow, so they're not extremely fast snakes.
Would you suggest this as a pet?
I think they make great pets. But, I mean, as with any pet, even dog, cat, bird, fish, always read up on it and make sure it's the pet for you, because not every pet is for everyone. But, yeah, they make pretty good pets.
You see how I'm sitting? Way back in with Gabby.
How I started out acquiring snakes, I've had 3. The first one I had only because in undergrad you can't keep a cat or a dog in the dorms. So snakes don't make noises, they stay in cages, and they're for the most part low maintenance. And that's pretty much how I got into snakes.
Look at the
and
tongue out.
Started with a snake and then I went into other reptiles.
Oh, wow. Well, oh, she wants me to touch the snake. Can I touch the snake?
Yes, she definitely can. You can hold it.
I don't want to hold it.
Our body temperature is 98.6 degrees.
It is really nice and soft. Girl, I think I will go to TJ Maxx next time and get me something. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that too loud in front of
show you
Silk.
have a snake.
Huh? No, I was talking about some other way of saying, But our time is almost gone, but it's so exciting. We're going to leave Silk out. You don't want to touch Silk?
No.
You don't want to carry Silk? Now that you're here.
I'll touch it.
Go ahead and touch. Your mom said you can't pick them up, so. Doesn't that feel nice? But you felt them before, haven't you? The animal shelter.
I felt one.
They feel so silky. Now tell us before we go about Ubu.
Okay, Ubu, she's her back turned to. Ubu is 11 years old, and she's always been a kind of stoic doggy. As long as she's by me, or she knows I'm coming back, wherever she's at, she's fine. She tends to like to hang out by my feet and sit underneath whatever chair or table I'm at.
Right.
I started calling her Shadow because she would always follow me everywhere, but she's gotten pretty good.
Right.
I mean, as long as she knows I'm coming back, she's extremely patient. She's a.
Ciao.
Let's see if I can. Oh, you want to wake up for a minute?
Her eyes are open. She's awake listening to the whole thing like, oh, this is so boring.
Actually.
Yeah, she's sort of like, oh, please. What is he talking about now? Yeah, do that around your neck. Okay. As long as it's not coming over here. Okay. Look at that.
Okay. So Ubu is a lab child mix.
Ubu
The thing
so
about
sweet.
a child, and most childs that have mixes, they have a black tongue. So they're pretty much for bred to hunt bears. Mm. And bears most of them have black tongues. So it's kind of a trait that was bred into them many years ago. They're from China. The other Chinese breeds, the Akitas and some of the other husky-like breeds, some of them also have black tongues. Shar-Peis may, but most of them have chow-chows in them.
And do you think animals should fit the people that own them like this?
Chows are one-owner dogs for the most part.
One-owner.
Most chows can be unpredictable. Ubu she's also a child Labrador Retriever. Okay, buddy.
He's like, I don't like this pose, Daddy.
We kind of had to. She just came up, so she was a little cranky. She's trying to find that comfort spot.
How do you know she's cranky? She's moving quickly.
Yeah. But she won't do anything. She's just looking for a spot to hide. She can get tangled up in things, so I have to kind of watch that she doesn't wrap them.
Yeah, because we have a lot of trees here, you notice. It's like the forest we're in here. You don't want it tangled up.
But
Now
Ubu's demeanor is most likely Labrador Retriever. Okay. The one owner part of her is where her big attachment to me is. So that's yeah. As long as I'm around or I'm coming back, then she's fine.
Tell us. Tell the audience some of the things that people need to be a vet, education-wise. And let's start with Gabby, who's in 8th grade. Like, what subject should she be if she wanted to do? Not that she's saying.
In 8th grade, I would start focusing on the sciences. Just sciences, biology.
Does she have to be an expert at math?
No.
Just regular, ordinary math. Anyway, just the regular math.
And the curriculum's changing, so they're stressing higher level math courses. I probably took more math maybe in high school than I did in college. It's not a big requirement. Normally, if you need a math, we can get a calculator. So, but now so math is not a big thing, but it is, math and sciences kind of go hand in hand. So you have to get through the math to get to that point. So it is an obstacle. My biggest obstacle was actually chemistry.
Okay. So, chemistry is something else.
Yeah, and if I had to take one more chemistry class, I might still be working to become a veterinarian.
Is it a great job? Do you love it?
Yes, I love it.
Would you say, what's the personality of the person that would be a vet?
Ideal personality should be easygoing, and because you kind of have to deal with all types of personalities. The biggest personality is probably not these guys. It's actually most likely the owners.
Not the animals, the people.
Yes, that's probably the biggest personality issue. The animals, I mean, aggressive dog's gonna come in, an aggressive cat will come in. You can kind of whisper, kind of calm them down a little bit. Sometimes it helps to kind of speak the language, or especially dogs are pack animals, so sometimes you have to kind of act like you're part of the pack. And on some dogs, huskies in particular, because they are very vocal and they're maybe the closest to wolf cousins. that you kind of have to really kind of speak the language to really understand them, and them to understand you as well. They're very intelligent, but you have to understand them as well. And then some dogs are hard-headed. Chow Chows are actually, they're really stubborn and hard-headed, so the Labrador Retriever Ubu kind of has calmed her down.
What about that Smokey?
Yes, and I was actually going to talk about Smokey next. So dachshunds, they were bred to hunt vermin. But the biggest thing they were bred to hunt were badgers. Okay. So they can have an extremely aggressive personality, or they can be very laid back like Smokey. And they can even be more laid back. I mean, some of them are extremely laid back. Smokey, I would say, is in between because he's got the hyper, but there's no, I haven't sensed any aggression at all. He just is hyper. The biggest medical issue with them is their backs. Because they're long and they have short feet, they get a lot of pressure in the middle of their spine, and if they jump off of heights, that's the biggest medical ailment is collapsed disc. So
collapsed disc.
So basically, the disc hardens. Okay, the disc hardens. It's gonna get tangled in my hair. The disc hardens, and the spinal cord pushes it up to the. The vertebrae pushes it up on the spinal cord, applies pressure, and you have to relieve that pressure to ease their comfort.
Okay. Well, we've got 1 minute. It's all over already. And Smokey has left us, folks. He just couldn't handle it. It was too exciting. But we are glad you came on, Gabby. Glad to have you on this side of the camera. And she's usually in the back with production. And we're so happy to have you on.
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure to have you, Silk, Rita, Ubu. And we hope you come back.
I will definitely.
Because it was too short. We needed to learn more. So, you know, we hope that you come back again, and all the best in all your endeavors with our wonderful animals, our wonderful furry friends, and exotic animals, of course. So thank you, audience, for listening, for your attention. I'm sure you learned a lot, because I certainly did. And join us another time when we have another great show on Africa's Vision Network.